Hi, welcome to Soulful Sunday Slow Flow. My name is Lisa and I'm so glad you're here. I am in another location today again. I'm at my other daughter's house this weekend in LA, and so here we are in a different space, but same sweet flow for today. I'm so excited. So every time I show up here, I want to share some kind of some little gem or something that you'll take away, some pose that felt really good in your body, or something that I said that resonated with you, or a resource that you could use when we're not together on our mats. And the thing that I wanted to share with you today is an app. It's called Calm. I don't know if you can see, it's this little square right here that just, it's a blue box that says Calm. And there's a free version of it that you can get. There's also a premium one that you can pay for, but it's my kind of my go-to in the morning meditation app that I use. And I'm still a big Deepak Chopra meditation fan. He does guided meditations that I've done for years and years and years. They're 20-minute practices, but the Calm one is 10 minutes. And so for some reason right now, that's just working for me, and the messages are great. And I just am really super enjoying it. And so I wanted to share that with you. So just, you can look in the App Store and Google that if you're interested. But just spending 10 minutes in the morning is just a perfect amount of time to get me in the right headspace and kind of frame of mind to start my day off on the right foot in gratitude or joy. There's lots of different reminders that she guides me through. So anyway, I just wanted to share that with you. And so I also want to remind you that to carve out space for yourselves, some at different points of your day. And so for me, I start in the morning with that 10 minutes. So I already know that I'm treating myself, I'm filling my cup up the very first thing in the morning. But throughout your day, I'd like to invite you to sprinkle in times in that space in between other things that keep you busy, work, or just busyness with family, friends, whatever it is that you're doing these days. Sprinkle in time that's just for you, that like I said, fills your cup, so that you are more able to be present in the moments with your family and friends, or in work, or whatever you're doing. So anyway, we will be concentrating on that space in between today. So we're going to start on our back bodies for a sweet flow. If you don't have your pillows and blankets and you would like to grab something, go ahead and do that. We'll be on our backs for a little bit. So find yourself there. Roll all the way back. Take your feet out wide to the edges of your yoga mat or your yoga space. Draw the knees together. They may come together to kiss, and they might not. But just have that intention of drawing those knees towards each other. Notice how the lower back just sort of starts to soften into the mat. Whenever I'm on my back body, I like to close my eyes. It allows the awareness to be drawn more inward. Place your hand, one hand on your heart, one hand on your belly, just to start here. Immediately starting to notice the rise and the fall of the chest and the belly. Bringing the awareness to the breath. Following the inhales and the exhales. With each round of breath, notice how your body starts to soften and let go. The bones feeling a little heavier. Muscles relaxing. Maybe noticing the mind starting to quiet. A little mini meditation here at the beginning of our practice. As you continue to take those deep inhales and exhales, notice the little pause, that little space between the inhale and the exhale. As you take that deep breath in, notice there's the space there before the exhale where there's just a little pause. Take a few more rounds of breath, noticing that little space, that little pause. Giving the mind something as simple as noticing the pauses, the little space. Is it enough to do to where you can't start thinking about the to-dos and the things that you might should be doing? It's your time that you've gifted to yourself on your mat, so try as best that you can to be fully present. Again, noticing the space between each breath. Feeling that full arrival on your mat. Draw the arms up into cactus here, opening up. Slowly starting to windshield wiper your knees side to side. Slowly is the key word here. Just taking your knees slowly to one side and then the other. Maybe even as slow as the breath. The next time the knees arrive over to the left, and no hurry to get there. The legs be as heavy as they are. The feet staying wide as your yoga mat or your yoga space. It doesn't matter exactly where your knees are, just that you're finding a little twist for the spine. A few options to deepen in here. Draw the right knee toward the left corner of your mat. Finding a little extra space in the right hip flexor. Be feeling a little stretch in the quadricep. Taking it a little deeper, you can take the left heel on top of the outside of the right knee or right thigh. Right away you'll notice, oh, that's too much for my spine, or oh, that feels good. On your next inhale, draw the knees up through center. Leaving the feet where they are, drop the knees over to the right. Option to look over to the left. And those choices of staying right here or drawing the left knee toward the right corner of your mat. Feeling that extra stretch. Maybe taking the right heel on the outside of the left leg. There's no need to press down on the right foot on that, the outside edge of that leg. Just simply the weight of it will do what it needs to do. You decide if that took it a little deep. That's a choice that feels good in your body. Your next inhale, draw the knees up through center. Make sure your back body is square on the mat. Draw your knees into the chest. Big squeeze. Then a rock side to side. Find the whole back body. shoulder blades, the hips. Separate the hands to the knees. Draw the knees into the chest. And draw the knees away from each other, knees out wide. Knees come together, arms extended. Then bend the arms and draw the knees into the chest. So this creates big circles with each knee. Warming up the hips. Next time your knees arrive into your chest, reverse the circles. So moving nice and slow. Next time your knees arrive up towards those shoulders, draw them in there. Stay here for this variation of happy baby, but notice the whole back body, tailbone on the ground. So stay here or reach the feet up towards the sky, maybe just reaching the hands for the shins or the ankles, or reaching for the outside edges of the feet. But notice if at this point, if you reach for the outside edges of the feet, then the tailbone lifts off the ground, then back off and go to the option right before that one. You're noticing sensation in the hips. And then the desire to rock side to side or stay in stillness. Releasing the hands, drop the feet down to the mat, hip width apart, heels close to your sitting bones. Hands reach palms down toward those heels. Tuck the shoulders underneath you, coming to bridge pose. Inhale, press into the feet, lift the hips. Slow here, exhale, lower the hips. 2 more times. Inhale to lift. Let the weight come back into the shoulders, upper back. Exhale, release, hips to the ground. 1 more breath, take it in, lift the hips. Exhale, release down to the earth. Draw your knees into the chest 1 more time. And then roll yourself forward and back a few times or just once, your choice. This is just a nice way to massage the spine in a different way. When you're ready, come up to your seat. You have a blanket or a block that you can lift your hips up just a little bit. It's kind of nice. We'll be here for a little. Sit up nice and tall. Hands come to the thighs or to the knees. And slowly drop the chin toward the chest. Draw the shoulders down and away from the ears. Have a tension release in the back of the neck. One more inhale to draw the shoulders down. Your exhale, draw the right ear toward the right shoulder. Inhale, chin to chest. Exhale, left ear over left shoulder. Inhale, chin to chest. Exhale, right ear over right shoulder. Pause here. Draw the left fingertips down toward the earth. Get a little deeper stretch. Just the mere fact of reaching the left arm away from the body and fingertips touching the earth or not. That left side a little more space to stretch. And flatten this palm on the earth. Draw the right arm up towards the sky and exhale over. Kind of side body stretch, right side. Inhale to lift up halfway, maybe walk the fingertips out just a little further. Exhale, side body stretch. And one more, inhale, half lift. Exhale, side body stretch. Reach with those right fingertips. Inhale to open, reach behind you. And exhale, reach for the front of your mat. One more time, inhale to open. And exhale to reach forward. Continue to draw the right hand down toward the left knee. Left hand reaches behind you for that kickstand. Sit up nice and tall. And exhale, look over the left shoulder, finding that twist. One more breath here. Inhale, lengthen up, sit as tall as you can. Exhale, twist. And inhale, just come back to center. Draw the shoulders up to the ears and draw the shoulders down and back. Chin to chest, inhale. Exhale, left ear over left shoulder. Draw the right fingertips toward the floor, whether they reach or not, it's no big deal. Feel that lengthening the right side of the neck. And flatten out the right hand on the earth. Inhale, left hand up to the sky. Tail over. Side body stretch. Inhale to lift up. Maybe walk those fingertips out. Exhale, side body stretch. One more full round of breath. Your biggest expression of this pose. Inhale to lift and open up the chest as you reach back behind you. Exhale as you draw it forward, reaching for the corner of your mat. Inhale to open up. Exhale to reach forward. Left hand continues down to the right knee. So you sit up nice and tall, right hand behind you. And then find your twist. Keeping over that right shoulder. One more breath to lengthen and lift. Exhale to find a twist. Inhale, just come back to center, shoulders up to the ears. Draw them back and down. Let's work onto our hands and knees and our tabletop. So if you have a blanket, you can place that underneath your knees for a little extra support. Anytime we can be sweet to our bodies, that's a good thing. But here in our tabletop, spread the fingers wide, shoulders away from the ears. Knees are right underneath the hips and shoulders are right over the wrists. Inhale to drop the belly, lift the chin and tailbone toward the sky. Look up. As you exhale, draw the belly button to spine round through, tucking the chin and tailbone. Inhale, drop the belly. Exhale, around the spine. One more time, inhale, cow pose. Exhale, round into cat. Inhale, back to table, and then you know what to do. Take the next 3 or 4 rounds of breath to create any movement for the body that would feel good. These opportunities are just for you to practice listening. I invite you to close your eyes. Just move in a way that would feel good. And those sticky places in the spine or in the body. And you feel even. And back to your tabletop. Extend the right foot behind you, lengthening out the right leg. Tuck the toes. Just press through the heel, so finding a stretch for the calf. So pressing the palms into the mat, shoulders away from the ears. Inhale to lift the right leg. So still flex through the toe, or through the foot, toes down toward the ground, pressing through the heel. So it's not a big arch for the spine, it's just long spine. Crown of the head reaches forward, heel presses back. Inhale to lengthen that leg behind you. Then exhale, draw the knee and nose together. Inhale to lengthen, crown of the head reaches. Exhale, tuck it in, belly buttons to spine. One more inhale to lengthen. Exhale to draw it in. Inhale back to that half spinal balance. Take the right toes down to the ground. Kickstand your left foot behind you. And then parallel the back foot to the back of the mat. And as you do so, line up your knee, your left knee and your right toes. Inhale the right hand up towards the sky. So shoulders are stacked here. Modified side plank. Left toes can be tucked or tops of the foot on the mat. Your choice, however you feel most stable. And inhale, reach the fingertips forward. And exhale, we're making big circles with the right arm. Getting into the shoulder joint here. Inhale to reach. Exhale to circle. One more big circle. And then pause with your fingertips reaching forward. Option to lift the back leg. So finding big extension for the right side body. Right foot is still flexed. Toes pointing towards the front. One more big inhale to lengthen. And exhale, hand and knee come down to the mat. Inhale, cow pose. Just a nice cat and cow to reset the spine. And back to neutral tabletop. Take the left foot behind you, extend the left leg. Tucking the toes and then press through the heel. Get a stretch in the calf. Maybe you'll notice a drawing up of the left knee to engage the left quadricep. Continue to reach the crown of the head forward. Inhale, lift the left leg. Just have it as an extension, press through the heel. Exhale, draw the knee into the nose. Inhale to find that extension, lengthen out, press through the palms. Exhale to draw it in. One more inhale to lengthen. Exhale to draw it in. Inhale to lengthen back, toes down on the ground once again. Kickstand the right foot out, parallel the left foot to the back edge of your mat. Noticing the lineup of the knee and the left toes. And inhale, left hand to the sky. One more breath here. And finding that movement, inhale to reach the hands forward, around, taking those circles for the shoulder joint. Nice slow circles, noticing any sticky points. And the next time your arm is, or your fingers are extended out overhead, bicep by your ear. Lift the back leg, flex the foot, toes toward the front of your space. One more breath to get as long as you can. And exhale, left hand and left knee come down. Inhale to your cow pose. And exhale, rounding into cat. And now back, neutral tabletop. Tuck the toes. Find your downward facing dog. Play around with the idea of shortening up your stance here a little bit today. Or in an upside down V, Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. Notice how your hips can come up towards the sky just a little bit higher. Let your head be heavy. And then generously bend one knee and then the other. Noticing the stretch in the calf, maybe a little lengthening of the hamstring. So spreading those fingers wide, drawing the shoulders away from the ears. Inhale up to tippy toes. And exhale, sink the heels down toward the mat. It doesn't matter if they touch. Inhale, lift the right leg up. 5, three-legged dog. The toes are down toward the ground. The foot is flexed. I realize you can't see my foot, but trust me, there it is. Inhale, press through the heel. Exhale, bend this knee and stack the hips. So open up here. And we'll make circles with our knee. Big circles. Just go in one direction. Or switching it up and going in the other direction. If you're switching directions, make sure you feel even, and then come back to three-legged dog. Exhale, draw your knee into your chest. Hover shoulders over the wrists. Inhale, three-legged dog. Exhale, right knee into the chest. Then find your pigeon pose here. Settle in, lengthening out the left leg behind you. I always like to peek back behind me, make sure the leg is straight back, and I'm on the top of my left foot. So here, this can, if this is not comfy for you, I'll give you an alternative. You can get on your back body and do figure 4. If you have a blanket or a block, blankets are more comfy. If your hip is not down on the ground, I know I have black on black, so it's kind of hard to see. But if this hip is not on making it to the ground, you can always put something under here, your hip, to help your body say, okay, I trust you, you got me, and I can relax. So staying here up on the palms, or walking your forearms down to the ground or all the way forward, folding on the right leg. Forehead to the earth or to a block or a pillow. Or you can even stack your wrists or your fists on top of each other to make a place for your forehead to land. Sorry, that pigeon pose was not for you. You can always find your back body and find the figure 4. So in figure 4, you just cross your right ankle over the left knee. For some of us, this is enough. You just want to get into this right hip. Or you can thread your hands through and interlace on the hamstring or the front of the shin. But keep a flex on the feet, protect that knee joint. And then your option to maybe rock side to side. Wherever you are, bring your awareness back to your breath. And notice once again the spaces in between. That pause between the inhale and the exhale. Especially if you're in pigeon pose, it's going to be quite an intense stretch. So when you bring the mind, give it something else to concentrate on. That's kind of a little reprieve. Slowly come up to your palms, foot on the mat, tuck the back toes, and inhale, right leg high, three-legged dog. And this hip is going to want to move in a little bit different way than it just was, so do anything that would feel good. When you're ready, come back to downward facing dog. Inhale, tippy toes. It's like opportunities to stretch out the toes. And exhale, sink the heels. Inhale, the left leg high. Three-legged dog on this side. I say high, but it doesn't have to be any particular height. And just extending that leg intentionally behind you. Flex through the foot, ankle, so that the toes can go down toward the ground, pushing through the heel. Bend this knee and stack the hip here, opening up. And then find the circles for this knee, for this hip. One direction and then the other. When you feel even, extend back with your inhale, three-legged dog. Exhale, shift forward, shoulders over wrists, knee into the chest. Inhale, three-legged dog. Exhale, knee into the chest, and then find your pigeon on the side. Or come right to your back body for that figure four stretch. Once again, peek behind you. Make sure the leg is extended straight back from behind you. Like to establish this nice tall spine and pigeon first before coming down to any variation. And then optional always to come down to that back body into your figure four on the other side. So yoga is a lot about just practicing listening. So, you know, it kind of seems like it's about getting into shapes and creating those particular shapes with your body, but it's really about listening, about creating some stretches and getting into some poses that you're able to ask yourself those questions of, does this feel good in my body? Or what is coming up for me? Oftentimes in yoga, especially in a deep hip stretch, things come up. We store things in our hips, emotions especially. So if by chance you're feeling a little emotional or having some thoughts come into your mind, just be curious about them. Allow them to be just as they are. Take 2 more rounds of breath wherever you are. Once again, bringing that awareness to the space between the inhale and the exhale. But you're ready to get out of this pose now. Me too. Come back to palms on the earth. Tuck the back toes. And take the left leg high to the sky. And do whatever you maybe did on the other side, or what seems like a good idea on this side, or whatever does actually feel good. Find yourself in downward facing dog once again when you're ready. Inhale to the tippy toes. Exhale, drop the heels toward the mat. And take the knees out wide. Big toes come to touch. Find child's pose. Reaching those fingertips forward, getting a stretch through the lats, the side body, the shoulders. Let the forehead come down to the mat, or bring a block or blanket or pillow underneath the head. It feels good for the forehead to have somewhere to anchor. It'd also be okay to find fist on top of fist here to allow the shoulders, or the forehead rather, to rest on the fists. There's not any right or wrong way to do yoga, as long as you're listening to your body and making those modifications that feel best for you. Your next inhale, rise up a little bit, and then weave your right arm underneath your left arm. But turn the right palm up as you reach those fingertips as far as you can reach. And then your shoulder comes down to the mat and the head comes down last. Bring something underneath the head to rest. Pillows or blankets are so nice. Getting a deeper shoulder stretch here. Another great place for a blanket or a pillow is between your calves and your hamstrings. Whenever you're in child's pose. When you inhale, draw the right hand back extended toward the front of your mat. Exhale to deepen in child's pose. Inhale, lift up halfway, and then this time draw the left arm underneath the right, palm is up. Let the shoulder come down to the mat and the head come down left. And then make it comfy. Place something underneath the head. Come back to your breath. Inhale to rise up, the left hand meets right. Child's pose. Inhale up through table and come to your seat. Scoot yourself to the front of the mat and draw yourself all the way down to your back body. Yes, we're already there. Draw the knees into the chest just because squeezes and hugs feel good, and maybe rock a little bit side to side. Find stillness in the center. Place the feet down to the mat, hip width apart, heels close to the sitting bones, returning to bridge pose once again. Fingertips reach toward those heels, palms down. Like the shoulders underneath you. Inhale to lift up. Gonna stay up in bridge pose here. So if you have a block and you'd like to use it for supported bridge, you can place that underneath your sacrum. So nice. You do have the luxury of having a block or something that can serve as that. Notice that you can more deeply settle into the shoulders, so turning the palms up might feel good. Another option would be continuing to press into the feet, interlace the hands, the fingers underneath you, and then draw those clasped hands toward the heels. Each inhale, unless you're on a block, stay there. Each inhale, lift the hips up. Each exhale, stay there. One more breath. With this inhale, remove the block if you have it. Otherwise, everyone then come up to the tippy toes and then slowly lower yourself all the way down to the mat, rounding the spine if you can, one vertebra at a time, making contact with the earth. Draw the knees into the chest. And take the feet up to the sky, legs up the wall pose. Hands on the hamstrings are a nice supported way to hold yourself here and legs up the wall. Lots of other options. You can just bring hands, palms down next to the hips, maybe hands to heart, hand to belly. Be here for 3 more rounds of breath. Bring awareness once again to that space. Hands are not already on your legs, go ahead and bring them to the hamstrings and then Slide them to the outside edges of your legs as you let your legs fall open into a straddle. So hopefully elbows come down to the ground so that the arms are supported by the earth and the hands can just be there to support the legs. If not, just support the legs with the hands wherever the arms are. If you want a little bit more, you can take the hands on the inside edges of the legs. Great opportunity to circle out the ankles or point and flex the feet. Tuning into what would feel good for this part of your body. The hands aren't on the outside edges, bring them there. Slowly draw the legs back together. Knees bend, drawing toward the shoulders. Once again, happy baby. It's yours to find whatever variation works for you. So maybe hands on the hamstrings, knees toward the shoulders. Have that awareness of the back body fully on the mat. As you extend the feet up toward the sky, if you wish, just make sure to leave that lower back on the mat. Maybe it's more accessible to reach for the ankles or the outside edges of the feet. Now that we've stretched out a little bit, you find a full variation of happy baby. Wherever you are is perfect. Slowly draw the bottoms of the feet together with control. Lower the legs just as they are down to the mat. Knees out wide. And then your choice of arm position. I love that variation of bringing the arms to cactus. Just this whole symbol of being vulnerable and open. Maybe bringing hand to heart and hand to belly for that connection. Both favorites. As you continue to practice yoga, you'll find different variations of different poses that are your favorites. But I also encourage you to mix up those favorites and do something different from time to time. Maybe you'll find new favorites. With your next breath, extend yourself into your Shavasana. Feels, finding the edges of the corners of your mat rather. Arms alongside the body. Turning the palms up. Take a moment to tuck those shoulders underneath you to lift through the chest a little bit. That symbol of being open in your heart. One more deep inhale. Accentuate that pause by stopping for a moment. That little space between the inhale. Let it go, exhale. One more time like that, inhale. Pause for that space, hold. And exhale. On that exhale, I hope that you felt that deep letting go, surrender into our final pose. Letting go. in your Shavasana. If you're able to stay in Shavasana for a little longer, you can end the meeting for yourself and just relax. This calm space, surrender. I'd like to close our practice together, start to wiggle the fingers and the toes, the rest of the ankles. Bend one knee, then the other, and then draw the knees into the chest. Give yourself that squeeze. And roll onto your right or your left side, pausing for at least one cycle of breath. And when you're ready, press yourself up to your seats. Letting the eyes remain closed or soft gaze to the mat. Arrive with your tall spine. As we close our practice today, I'd like you to consider the places in your life where you can create that space, times that you can pause, either for some breathing, some Shavasana, something different than what you were already doing. Taking a walk or calling a friend. The pauses. The space is so important for the balance. Bringing hands to prayer in front of the heart, bow your head. I'm so grateful that you showed up for yourself and for our little yoga community here. Wish you a beautiful rest of your day or your evening whenever you are practicing. Namaste. All right. See you next time.